All right, I'm going to inform you about everything you need to know from what happened in the past week of baseball. Let's get right into it. The Rays are off to an incredible start as they have tied the modern-day MLB record, starting the season 13-0. And yeah, here's this little factoid. Thanks to Fox Sports MLB on Twitter, the Rays offense has scored more runs than times they've struck out. Think about that for a second. In the era of baseball that we are in right now, how many teams strike out? How much? Rays have already outnumbered their strikeouts by the runs they've scored this year. And they lost for the first time last night to the Blue Jays. And listen, it was going to happen. No team's going to go 162-0. It was fun to see how far they could get. 13-0 is very impressive. 14-0, even more impressive. Now, sure, did they play the A's and Nationals and A's Nationals? Did they play the Tigers? I think they did. I don't know. Either way, they started off with a pretty easy schedule. Okay, Red Sox was a bit more of a test, but they're winning most of these games by at least 2+ runs, 4+ runs. It's impressive. They've been off to a hot start to start the season. But yeah, hats off to the Rays, and they deserve all the credit they can get right now because it's very difficult to come off 13-0. Let's jump off to another guy who got off to a hot start, Jordan Walker. He also tied an MLB record. I think this is also modern day, I'm not sure, but he tied an MLB record by starting his MLB career with a 12-game hitting streak. Here's the 12th hit.
Broken bat. Get through, baby. It will. Walker is aboard. $12 in a row.
So yeah, there you go. I mean, to start your MLB career off with a 12-game hitting streak is incredible, and this guy he's awesome, a super prospect, and he's just been great since he's come into the league now. And obviously, you can't get a hit every game, but starting off with 12 games in a row, getting a hit, that's pretty great. A lot of those games, maybe he only had one hit, but still, if you're going 1 for 4, 1 for 3, that's like very good in the league. You're batting 300. That's great in the league. So, awesome to see Jordan Walker. He's a menace and part of a Cardinals team that's struggling a little bit right now to start the season, but I wouldn't be too worried about them. I think they'll figure it out as they get further into the season. Another guy here who started off the season pretty well, Luis Arraez. He's hitting like almost 600 right now. It's insane. And he is the first player in Marlins history to hit for the cycle. Here's the single, I believe, that got him the cycle.
Long look. Pitch clock down to 1, and that is going to get down a base hit. The first cycle in Marlins franchise history, Luis Arraez.
Kind of crazy to believe, but first cycle in Marlins history. I mean, they're a younger-ish franchise, but still, that nobody's had a cycle in how many years? I mean, kind of crazy to think about, but Luis Arraez is definitely the guy who can do it. Not known for his power too much, but in a game against the Phillies, he was able to show off his power a little bit and also to hit consistently, which is what he does best. And that's just a perfect example of basically a win-win trade for each side, as Pablo Lopez is doing great for the Twins so far to start the season. And obviously, like I just said, Luis Arraez has been insane to start the season in Miami. Pretty cool thing here up next, Bobby Witt Jr. Okay, think about how many fans are in the crowd for a game. 20,000 maybe? More? 30? Depending on what game it is? Yeah, let's see this. Bobby Witt Jr. manages to hit a foul ball to his dad. His dad catches it. Watch this.
Ninth inning last night, Bobby Witt Jr. had a productive out, led to the tying run, but right before that, he hit a foul ball into that suite. Guess who ended up with the ball? They were jumping up and down. Oh my gosh, Bobby Witt Sr. ended up with a ball from Bobby Witt Jr. That is a cool moment. So I talked to Jr., and he signed it. Actually, he didn't sign it, he just wrote on it. Hit by Bobby Witt Jr., caught by Bobby Witt Sr., and the date. He hasn't signed it yet. I asked him if he would, and he said maybe we'll both sign it.
How crazy is that, to be able to hit a foul ball to your dad who's sitting in the stands? I mean, most people don't walk away from a game with a foul ball. And to manage to hit one to your dad, obviously he's not trying to or anything, but the fact that one was hit to his dad, the odds on that is incredible. Just an awesome thing to see in baseball to start the season. And Bobby Witt Jr. has also been off to a hot start. He's had a lot of stolen bases. He is a quick dude on and a sort of one of the only bright spots on a Royals team that's not off to a great start to start the season. But yeah, love to see this. Awesome stuff. Moving on, Jared Kelenic. He has been off to a hot start this season. Check out this bomb that he hit against the Cubs.
Kelnick straightaway center field. Let's make it 3 in a row for Kelnick. It is gone. Home run. Upper deck bleachers center field.
That thing was smoked. 482 feet is what I believe StatCast had it at. That is insane. And I don't think this was even the farthest hit ball this year. Giancarlo, of course, hit one like 485 or something like that. So this is crazy. You don't see balls hit to Wrigley there. That's just 482. This guy's been off to a monster start. He just had another home run last night and a double. So this guy, listen, he's only 23 years old. He's got time to figure it out still. Former super prospect as well, compared to Mike Trout coming up. So let's not count this guy out yet. He's definitely going to be able to pick it up, and this season so far he's been doing that. A guy who has not been off to a great start this season, Javi Baez. Hasn't had a great look this season, and here you'll see why he got pulled by manager A.J. Hinch.
Chase percentage always up near the top of the league. This one to center. And Baez doesn't know how many outs there are. Another mistake by Javier Baez. Didn't get out of the box much on the double. Didn't really tag up last night from third, make any kind of effort on a fly ball. And now didn't know how many outs there were. Clearly thought there were 2. Takes off as soon as it's hit. And A.J. Hinch can't be happy. This is A.J. Hinch saying to Javier Baez, come down the steps. Baez takes his hat off. I mean, he knows what this is about, obviously. Moments later, Baez comes up the steps. The seats are gone. The shirt's untucked. And I think he's out of the game.
Basically, if you didn't catch the drift of it, he ran when he shouldn't have. There was only 1 out. He thought there was 2. Whatever. He's been off to a terrible start to start the season. We'll cut him a break. Let's move on to Salt Lake City. Could be getting an expansion team here. Jeff Passan recently tweeted out that former owner of the Jazz has been looking to add an MLB expansion team, if possible, in the next couple years to Salt Lake City. My thoughts on this? I think there's a few more teams that you could go, or a few more cities you could go to add a team before Salt Lake City. Wouldn't necessarily be my first choice, but I'm glad there's interest in growing the game out a little bit and expanding. That's awesome. Love to hear that, but I think there could be a few places you should expand to before Salt Lake City. Just my opinion. I know they have really, really, really passionate fans at the Utah Jazz for basketball there in the NBA, but I don't know. We would see. I'm sure they'd be great, but I'm thinking maybe there could be some other places before you would expand to Salt Lake City. Just a guess. And last thing here, a couple extensions that were signed recently. Ian Happ and Logan Webb got extensions. First, we'll take a look at Ian Happ's here. He signed a 3-year, $61 million extension with the Cubs, and you love to see that. Ian Happ has been off to a pretty good start this year. Just went 4 for 4 last night, I believe. So, Chicago Cubs got a great bat that they're trying to lock up with this core, and got a pretty decent deal, I would say. Thought maybe it'd be a little bit longer of a deal, but I don't know. I guess that's what they wanted. And then Logan Webb locked up by the Giants, 5 years, $90 million. Gotta say, I like this deal a lot. Webb, somewhat underrated, I would say, in 5 years for $90 million. I would take that if I was the Giants. Great deal by them. And great by these organizations to lock up their players while they can, not let them hit the market. Good for them. I mean, not great for free agency and drama for all of us, but hey, you still love to see it either way. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this past week of baseball. Tune in next week, and I'll catch you up again on what happened next week in baseball.